Hello everyone and welcome back to Tech Stuff with Artman. This episode we'll be talking about some really interesting Fluent apps that have been made for Windows. These are native applications that are available on the Microsoft Store and we are going to explore some of them. Also, if you are concerned about the video quality of this video, especially this particular thing, that's because I've zoomed in and I've used my webcam camera. The reason I gave last time as well, which is that it takes a lot of effort to actually mount my smartphone camera. So until and unless people are interested in the content, I am not entirely sure whether I should take the risk of putting so much energy to putting my camera up there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Let's get right into it. Alright, let's look at Files. Now, Files is kind of a file explorer alternative. It's supposed to be a reimagined file explorer. So when you're looking at this, you can immediately tell the difference. So for example, let me open my file explorer right now. Let's open this side by side so that we can get a glimpse at how different these two actually are. Whether it's the visual aesthetic that you can see on the right, you see a much more modern Windows 11-esque aesthetic, while on the left you see a much more Windows 7 kind of aesthetic, which should not exist right now but still does for some reason. No, not Windows 7, this looks more like Windows 8 aesthetic. And yes, while you can make this the default experience, while you can make the Files version 2, which is available on the Windows Store, by the way, if you can make this the default experience, but it's still a bit slow, unfortunately, as compared to the File Explorer. I'm going to go into Artman Productions over here, and I'm going to go into Artman Productions over here. So you can clearly see the difference in the amount of time each one takes. Now I have this preview pane open. I'm going to turn that off. Now immediately you see the difference in the optimization for smaller screens and stuff. This has a preview that comes at the bottom. So if I have an image open, it will do it there. Unfortunately, when it comes to stuff like this, so let's go to view and let's turn on the preview pane. It goes and opens the preview pane over here, which is sad that it does not adjust with the size or the screen space that it is getting. It's not as well implemented. So for example, if I do this and if I do this, there's major difference in the way that we get the information. Over here we don't get any information at all, while over here we get the number of items inside. We get the uncompressed size, that the expected uncompressed size. We also get the item path, the date created, which is already present here. You can add that over here. You can go to the date created column as well, but it's much easier. You have a much more modern context menu, and you've got these small shortcuts over here. Instead of just copy and stuff, you've got it at a much easier place, because when you actually, let's say I want to copy this, okay, I right click, immediately it's nearer to my mouse, which is not the case here. Let's say I'm right clicking here, you get this long ass menu with the cut copy stuff being at the bottom. It's frustrating how hard it is to use this sometimes. And yes, I'm the person who added all of this, no doubt about that, but still it's a bit unfortunate, it's a bit unnecessary, and honestly it needed a better overhaul, and this is doing a job well, but we still have the problem of it not performing as well as the default one. I think it's mostly because this is an external application, but apart from that, if you have a good enough PC, it will work fine. It gives you a 1 second delay or something at most, but it works well. It's a bit power hungry, performance hungry, but it does the job well. So for example, I have the Artman Productions intro on both of these. Press search and there you have it, immediately in front of you. Now over here I go and search. See, it will index, it will decide whether or not it wants to give you the file, and then it will give it. And agreed, some people have better options. There's search indexing which you can do, so you can make your search slightly better by indexing all of it beforehand. But then see what I'm saying, like it still gives you these stupid ass results that don't make any sense. Like all I asked for our Artman Productions intro. If I'm asking for that, these make sense. This does not. I've typed specifically that I want Artman Productions intro, not Artman, comma, Productions, comma, intro, giving you a choice of choosing whatever you want. That is what is lacking. And that is something that unfortunately exists and should not, but is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. Moving on, we will now look at some other features. Now, obviously, this you see a tabbed interface over here, but the tabs are not by default. By default in Windows, you do not get tabs. So in order to show you the real way that Windows looks, let me show you how it looks by default. This is how Windows File Explorer looks without any of the tabs. It looks like this. It has no tabs. It does not allow you to multitask as well. Over here, however, let's say I use the center mouse wheel to click, which is a shortcut you guys should do. Okay, so if you can see over here, I have my mouse. If you press on the scroll wheel while hovering over some object, you get a new instance of it. So inside a web browser or something, if you click on that, you get a new tab, which is the same thing that you get over here. Now over here, if you click on that, you'll get a new window if you do not have the tab thing enabled. Oh, okay, apparently it's just opened it into the same window. Now let's see, I enable tab bar again. Okay, let's go into the options and let's go into the Qt tab bar. Okay, we have this enabled now, and if I central click on it, it automatically opens the thing again, right? So that's interesting. It allows you so much. So like for example, let's say I don't want to open stuff. Let's say I want to open logos. All right, so now I have logos over here. I have these 6 different logos over here. Let's say I want to copy this into my Artman Productions folder. So I just drag and I drop. Honestly, it's as simple as that. You can move to, which is honestly like, and you press escape to cancel it. It's good. It's really good. And this is the same thing you can actually emulate over here with Qt tab bar, which is an add-on to your experience. This is something I'll make a separate video on, but you can copy and you can paste. But you can also define for Qt tab bar what your default action should be. But the reason why I'm showing you this is you have to go and install a separate application for this, but you have this built in, which is beautiful. It honestly is beautiful. And when you hover over stuff, you get to know it. Now, for example, okay, one thing that I've noticed, which a lot of people seem to find confusing a little bit, is okay, this is the logos for my Artman Productions. Let's say I go into my Teams formula, student teams, media. For the sake of this video, let's open logos. Now this is where Files version 2 is slightly behind, but it does not give you an indication of where exactly both of these logos are from. Whilst if you do that over here, so if you open via Qt tab bar, it gives you a complete definition of where it's coming from. Right, so for this, it's logos at Artman Productions if they have the same name. Logos at branding from Trident Tracing, obviously. So this is something this does not provide yet, but I'm pretty sure they'll be adding that soon. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not actively following the development as of yet. Or I'll go on the settings right now for you guys. So I'll close File Explorer for now. And we have simpler settings. We have the appearance, custom themes which we can add. We have the option to move overflow items into a sub menu. We have the option to, on startup, what do we want? We want to open a specific page, or we want to continue where we left off, or open a new tab. That's cool. We also have, when opening a folder, open in a new tab or open new instance. So opening a new instance means you open it in a new window, but instead if you're opening a folder in files, you'll open it in a new tab. So that is good. This is when I'm like pressing the central thing. We've got preferences, which I'm pretty sure they're going to add open folders in new tabs. That is off right now. We have a show confirmation dialog when deleting files. That is necessary. We have terminal applications. I have PowerShell and CMD. You can have the Windows terminal thing, which is a new fluent terminal design for Windows 11, of course. We've got the language. We have a sidebar, which is on the left. We have multitasking. If you have dual pane view, which is also in and of itself an interesting concept, to be honest. New pane. Oh, okay. So you open a new pane, right? And you can have these two opened side by side. So you have Artman Productions and Home. And I wish they will allow to use all of these panes, use them in a very sort of better manner. Like, let's say I want two different panes opened at the same time. I can save those panes and then open them later. That is something I would love to see. Another interesting thing that I forgot to mention was the bundles widget. Now, there are widgets over here that are going to obviously be added soon. So if you go here, you can create a bundle of say work. Okay, I've created work. If I do select, okay, add item, add file or add folder. Okay, remember this. So it will open this, which is unfortunately an old dialog box, but it does the work. It basically gives you the option to select bundles to add. Right. So whenever you open this bundle, what does bundle do? Can I open bundle? Is there something like, is it something I do over here? So clearly there is supposed to be some sort of feature for this which just does not exist. I am assuming what bundles is going to do is it's going to basically open a separate window with this particular thing. It's like tab groups in Microsoft Edge, the video that I made recently. I'll link that up there. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I will be trying out files for a bit. I'm going to be using that as my daily file explorer and use that as my default file explorer. Well, that's it for this one. Let's move on to the next one.